argument for the existence of God is fairly fascinating. It is developed from the laws of logic and of mathematics. And essentially, it looks at logic and recognizes that it has no material component, and looks at mathematics and realizes that numbers themselves have no material being. And yet, logic is absolutely essential for us to be able to even think, and numbers allow us to be able to understand the world that we live in. If these numbers are immaterial, unchanging, where do they come from? This is an argument for a being, a mind outside of this world that has gifted us with laws of logic and of mathematics in order that we should be able to function. Laws of logic allow us to think clearly and to make decisions. They consist of such things as the law of non-contradiction, which says, in essence, something can't be true or false at the same time. Numbers, of course, are the things which allow us to understand the movement of the earth, how machines work, how we do business even. Without numbers, you wouldn't have the ability to be able to transact anything. So these numbers are unchangeable. They're fixed, that is. They're the same at any time, and they are not affected by human beings. That is, human beings don't make these laws. They, in fact, discover them. The idea behind all of this, or the precepts behind all of this, is that the laws of mathematics and the laws of logic are objective. They aren't affected by any particular individual. Even if there were never any people, they would be the same because they simply exist. They are the same. They apply everywhere and at all times. The second premise is that they aren't physical in any way. They can't be investigated or put in a test tube or analyzed by science because they are immaterial. They don't depend upon anything in this world. So therefore, the best explanation of these laws becomes an unchanging, intelligent mind that is namely God. So simply put, laws of logic and laws of mathematics are not made up by humans. They exist outside of us and are true whether or not we exist. Since we can't explain these laws through any sort of physical means, we are left looking for something beyond the physical world, and that something would be an immaterial mind or God. A number of philosophers have thought about this and written and discussed. Immanuel Kant understood that the laws of logic were given to us by God in order that we might be able to think. There was a divine higher reality, a divine mind, which created the laws of logic and mathematics. Alvin Plantinga looked at the laws of logic and math and realized that it helped us to understand that the world functions according to rules that we do not make, and therefore that suggests something outside of our world that controls these things. G.K. Chesterton also understood that logic and mathematics pointed to a supreme being. It gave us an idea that there was a purpose, and that such purpose came from a divine mind. John Lennox, a contemporary great mathematician, has looked at mathematics and logic, and he has seen a relationship between them and the existence of God. He believes that mathematics are a language that help us to understand the very nature of the universe that we are in. And the fact that we are experiencing logic points to a rational mind that is beyond the cosmos. This is a strong argument because we know that both logic and mathematics are based on something that is immaterial and cannot be affected or influenced by people. The best explanation that we have is that an intelligent mind has developed these laws and put them in place for us. And if you think about it for a moment, without them, we really couldn't function. Now, there are some criticisms of the argument. The primary criticism is that we have misattributed the source of both logic and mathematics, and in fact, they were discovered by people. And what we see as a very quick rebuttal is that if indeed man was responsible for creating mathematics and logic, if it was something that they had, quote, discovered and put into place, it would be different in different places and in different times. However, it turns out that logic is always the same, no matter where you are, and mathematics is unchanged, again, no matter where you are. The law of contradiction always applies, and 2 plus 2 always equals 4. So the criticism of the argument falls far short. So in reality, it's a very strong argument. Where did logic come from? Because it had to come from somewhere. It's a universal attribute. And where did mathematics come from? You can't hold a 4 in your hand, and yet we all know what 4 is. Where did that come from? It has always existed. So that is a strong argument for a force, a mind outside of our universe having developed those concepts. Again, a strong argument.